All right, beginning Scratch videos for those of you who haven't used it before. First of all, we're going to go ahead and log on the site scratch.mit.edu that we looked at the first few days of class. And past that, we're going to create a login, which I believe most of you have done. If you have not created a login, there should be a button that says Join Scratch and then follow the directions to do that. Use your own personal email and you will get an account. So once you get to those two things, then let's go to the Create function over here. When we go to the create function, it opens up a brand new thing, and it always starts us with a sprite, which is a cat. For right now, I just want to get you used to some of the things that you can do in Scratch. So first of all, down here where it says sprites, and these are actors that you can move around on the screen, we can add those, and we can add most things in any one of four ways. We can add one from the library, we can add one from painting one, we can find a picture on the internet and upload one, or we can actually take if we had a camera involved in our Chromebook, which we do, we could add a sprite where we just snap from a camera. By the same token, we can do the same thing with backgrounds. And then over here on costumes, we can do the same thing with costumes, and we can do the same thing with sounds when we're ready. Not quite all the same things, but I'll show you some of these ideas. So let's start off, first of all, we'll just add a background. So I'll click on background so that it's highlighted. And down here, you'll see if I hover over this, it says choose from library. So if I click, I can go down and I can choose any of these I want to. And for right now, I'm just going to pick one. How about a beach in Rio? Because why not? And I'm going to hit OK. So instead of a cat on the white background, in general, it should add a Rio beach behind him. And now here where it says backdrops, you have backdrop 1, which is white. You have backdrop 2, which is Rio. And currently backdrop 2 is selected. So he's sitting on a beach in Rio. All right, if we want to add another sprite to keep him company, we can go over here to choose sprite from thing, and we can say, oh, who wants to hang out? Or maybe we just give him a beach ball. So we'll click beach ball here and hit OK. And somewhere in the screen, then a beach ball. And if you want to move one of these things, you can just move these things just by grabbing them with your mouse and moving them around. So now we have a cat and a beach ball. Again, we've added a backdrop from library and we've added a sprite from library. And just for fun, if we want to, let's go ahead and look over at costumes. So here's the tabs up here. Scripts is for coding, and this is the coding part right here. This gray area over to the right is where we code. And then costumes is for each sprite. And then sounds is for sounds they can play. So for just a moment, let's go to costumes and we'll click on cat. Let's click on the cat. There we go. And we'll see that the cat already has 2 costumes. And if we wanted to add another costume, we can do that a few different ways. In theory, we could go ahead and just right click and we could duplicate one of those costumes. And you'll see if I right click and hit duplicate, it might take it a moment, but the right click duplicate should show up the same one as costume 1 a moment ago. Thought I hit it. Duplicate, there it is. And if we want to duplicate this one, we can also duplicate this one. Let's say we want to do a little something different. We can alter these in the paint function. So I can blow him up so I can look at it a little better, and perhaps just for something on the beach, perhaps I'll try to put the cat in a pair of flip-flops. So I won't be very good at this, but just for fun, if you're on this and you can't see anything, for tools, you can hit convert to bitmap or go to bitmap mode, and hopefully it should give you some tools to work with. Here they are over here. So let's pull him back in the middle, and we'll just draw a straight line, and I'll just kind of underline his foot here in red for a minute. And I'll just take this foot and I'll underline it in red for a minute. And then again, I'm not an artist, but I'll just take and I'll draw a couple of things that look like he's got flip-flops on maybe. Oops. All right, you get the basic concept. So now I can even draw them, and when if I'm on another costume, it won't show. But if I'm on that costume, I could have added a costume where he has his little janky flip-flops on. Plenty of sounds to play in here. If you click add sound from library, this will drive me crazy in class, but you can just play these and it'll play several different sounds that I'll show you how to insert in here. So right now it's got the sound pop in there, so I'm just going to, well, I'll go ahead and put in the sound cricket because why not? I'll just say okay. So now it's got meow and it's got cricket, and I'll show you your first line of code for a minute. So if we go up here again, sounds, costumes, scripts, if we click on scripts, events, when green flag is clicked is going to be a pretty standard one. And I'm just going to leave all this set up like this, and I'm just going to simply say when green flag is clicked, play sound cricket. And so now all I have to do is run it, and every time I hit green flag, he'll play sound cricket. So that's the basic concept of getting up and getting started with Scratch. If you want to play around a little bit and try to add some sounds, or if you look, there's different menus. I mean, the blue is motion menus. This is all motion. So we could say move 10 steps and then play the sound cricket, and we could run it. And he said, well, 10 wasn't very much. Let's move 50 steps or 60 steps and play sound cricket. All right. So maybe you could have him running after the ball. I'm not exactly sure, but mess around with that a little bit. If you haven't coded before, motion menu looks like this. A looks menu does different things here. You can change color. You can make swirlies. You can hide him. You can say thought bubbles and things like this. Sound is here. That's where we found the cricket. This is for him to actually draw on the screen. Data is for user created variables. Events are some different things. We'll use broadcast and receive a lot. Control menus, we'll use loops a lot. These are called conditional statements, if-thens, those types of things. And sensing and operators, and these are for mathematical statements and stuff like that. And then this is if you want to create your own block of code. So play around a little bit, move him a little bit, have him spin, have him rotate, have him say something, and just build different parts of codes. I want to turn 15 degrees, I want to move, and then I want to play cricket, and then I want to play a drum, and then I want to, oh, I don't know, let's go back to motion. Then I want to glide to some other point in here. So let's look. All right. So again, play around a little bit and see what you got. That's the beginning of Scratch. Thanks. Oh, don't forget to save your program. That's up here. You hit save now and it'll save. You want to title it my first program. That happens up here to the upper left. And then you can tell when it's saved again. And we'll get to the point where we're sharing them with other people too, but that's good to start.